bless his this session and his presentation.
Thank you, Jesus, for guiding us to come here. Thank you, Jesus, for giving us protection. Thank you, Jesus, for being here with us. And we ask you for protection, for guidance, for everyone here who will attend this dissertation to submit this international. So when we are here, asking your powerful power to come with us. As I pray in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Amen. So without wasting time, Mr. Zido,
Yes, please.
tell us about your work in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yes. We start and you are going to tell us talk about your background, statement of the problem, objectives, research questions, scope of the study, the theoretical framework, literature review methodology, and the findings.
Okay. Thank you. My name, Pastor Mazere Isdoro. I'm here to present this dissertation to submit to you lectures under Grace International Bible University. My topic to analyze the advance in effect of broken families will be a case of Rubaga Parish Division, Kampala District. So the background of the study is marriage and broken families are social issues as well as private concern corners. Broken families is a major life stressor of the individual involved with potentially strong negatives consequences for the mental and the physical health of all the members of the family. The basic purpose of this research is to provide details information about analyze the effect, the adverse effect of broken families of children well-being, effects using a case study of Nigerian food. Broken families leads to school dropout of children. Children engage addiction, addiction drugs, commit sex before marriage, and develop delinquent behavior in the community life. That is a summary of background. Statement of problems. Children whose family are broken or dysfunctional might become more prone to emotional stress and anxiety, depression, and social isolation. Effects are not limited to their mental health, but extend to their key areas of their lives. such as ability to develop and maintain healthy social relationships. The study shall therefore be able to contribute to any even deeper understanding of how broken families affect children through the analysis of various psychological, social, and academic outcomes. In doing so, it seeks to guide future intervention and policies that can work in their interest of children in dealing with the emotional, psychological effects of family breakdown. Children from broken homes, families may feel inferior because they feel that their family's consideration is not the norm, the norm or standard recognized by society. This can have an impact on a children's social and cognitive development. Disturbance in interpretation relationships. Children from broken home families may have difficulty forming healthy and well-established interpretation, inter, interpersonal relationship. This can happen because children lack experience and skills in building relationships with other people and risking of healthy behavior. Children from broken families tend to be more prone to developing unhealthy behavior such as smoking, drinking alcohol, and using illegal drugs. This can happen.
Pastor,
Yes, please.
are you presenting reading to us?
I'm presenting.
No, you are reading.
Okay. Let me rush on. Okay. Thank you for guiding me. So we are going to see my general research objective of study. They analyze the adverse effects of broken families of children's well-being, a case of Najana Kumpashugaga division capacity. Specific objective of the study. 1. To investigate the cause of broken families in the church. 2. To evaluate the effects of broken families on children's well-being. And 3. To identify a possible solution to broken families of children's well-being. 4. To find out challenge of broken families on children's well-being. So then we are going to look at such questions. The study was set to provide answers to the following research questions. 1. What are the possible causes of broken families on children's well-being? That is my question I ask myself before going to the community. 2. What are the effects of broken families of children's well-being? Then 3. What are the possible strategies applied to stop broken families? Then 4. What are the challenges of broken families on children's well-being? So the time of scope. Let me first give you the scope of the study. As shown in this study, is limited to the period between 2021 and 2025. That's the time of the study. Then time of scope. This research will be carried out in the context of time scope from September 2021 to September 2025.
No time. Scope time.
Geographical.
The scope of the study is in 3 phases. Yes. The content scope, the geographical scope, and the time scope. When it comes to time scope, there is the starting time and the ending time. You must have a justification why you are starting from that time and why you are ending from that time.
So you don't have that.
No, he's having it, but it's failing
To
to bring it out.
bring it up. Let me go back, then I bring it in very well. As shown in this study, is limited to the period between 2021 and 2025. The period was elected because it was reasonably long enough to enable the researcher establish the trend of family support is provided by church. The study was limited to the Rubaga division. The equally was guided by ideas of applied ethics and social linkers, which reflect the importance of the analyzing the adverse effects of broken families, of children well-being, fighting not only to individual but also to national society, socio-economic.
That means, Pastor,
Yes, please.
your justification is too weak.
It's too weak.
Yes, our justification based on a policy, government policy. Maybe in 2021, the government came up with this policy. That's why I started from this time. And end in 2025, because that is when the government started to implement this policy.
So I must add it, please.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just giving an example.
Which is your study?
My study.
What are you studying? What is your topic in other words?
My topic is,
Bachelor's.
yes, bachelor's, to analyze adverse effect of broken families on children well-being. That is my topic.
So what is your framework type?
Framework type. My framework time, I'm not understanding. Come again.
When
What
I
is your
you
time frame?
look at your time geographical scope, my time scope.
Time scope. The research will be carried out in the context of time scope from September 2021 to September 2025.
Why? That's what you want. Why did you decide that time?
According to financial and also,
Mr.
sorry,
Pastor,
yes, please.
we are going to revisit the scope. We shall revisit the scope together. Because the way you have written it, that's not how they write the scope. We shall have a justification why you start from that time and why you end from that time. You can go to another section.
So I go to another section.
Council.
The significance of the study. It is hoped that the study will have a great importance to the following features researchers will gain from knowledge and finding of the study which they will apply in other related studies. 2. The family makers policies. 5. This study will help those who would like to strengthen their marriage by way of avoiding broken families. Then number 6, it helps the policy makers to come up with good mature policies based on informed decisions.
Now,
Mitchell, sorry.
can we please go to your methodology and your, because you have 8 minutes. So we have not heard how you analyze your literature.
My methodology, chapter 3.
Before methodology,
Yes, please.
let us just with the other parts. Because I'm seeing the results.
Conceptual.
Before the conceptual is in chapter 1,
Conceptual framework
or is in which chapter?
is in chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Yes.
You have also the theory,
Yes, I have.
and this is in chapter what?
Theory, it is in chapter 2.
Chapter 2. Okay. Now, tell us about your relationship and your concept framework. Because I'm not seeing there is no independent variable, there is no dependent variables. So what you have are measurable variables, and I don't know to which variable. But I'm saying they are measurable variables according to how we have written them.
Okay. So let me refine this here. I have it in page 20.
But remember, we are having the same book, having the same content. I don't think that what I'm telling you is different from what you have there.
Yes, it is because you are a doctor, you are interviewing. So I should accept your guidance.
You convince us.
So let me give you what I have here in my book. On page 21, the last 3 paragraphs.
21 is just 3 paragraphs.
Yes, I start by 1, the one then we choose. Okay? Okay. The independent variables represent the root cause of dispute with the family.
I agree with you,
Yes.
but I want you to tell us that variable, the dependent variable, or the independent variable.
Okay.
This is what we want to do.
To know why I put them here.
No, we just want to know those variables.
In your opinion, what do you think?
Because even in the last 3 paragraphs, lines you are saying on page 21, they
Yes.
say that the dependent variables represent the
Ultimate goals of conflict solution within family.
So now my question is, what is this dependent variable? This is what I want to hear.
So these dependent variables will guide me.
Pastor, you
Sorry.
go back to page 20.
20. Yes, I'm here.
Look at box 1.
Box 1. Culture.
No, I'm not telling you to read.
Okay.
Look at that box.
Yes,
it is having independent variable. Independent variable is supposed to be outside the box.
The box.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because it is the heading for that
Okay.
box.
Okay.
Then where it is, we must have a variable, a major variable. Which variable is that?
So I must indicate them here.
Yes, in the
Which
box.
variable?
Which variable is that? The
And that
independent
variable, in 2021, you mentioned
Yes, I mentioned it.
That which variable is what I want to hear.
The variables I used is under the broken families.
No, they're not together.
So I get
Look here.
okay.
I need that variable here.
this independent variable is supposed to be outside the box. Then there is a variable, which is the, what? Which is the leading variable that is supposed to be.
Because even on page 21,
So
we
it's
continue
something
to say
missing.
independent variables. These variables are they are silent, you are not mentioning them.
Okay.
And they are major variables. Because you will not explain anything without those variables.
Thank you. I will
But
correct it.
have you understood them? Now, what
Yes,
are
I
those
understood.
variables?
Yes.
What are those variables?
Based on your topic. Because those variables are coming from your topic.
Yes.
So according to your topic, go back to your topic.
My topic is
Yes. So what is the
to analyze
variable?
and
No, what is the independent variable there? Is it the broken family
Family
it
or
is
children well-being?
will be,
both.
no, that.
Is what?
Is well-being, children well-being. Yes.
That's what you take.
Okay.
Are you writing them? Because I'm not seeing that you are writing them.
And does this you can explain the verse?
This is said is we don't know. It's not telling us. This is it. It is children well-being. Pastor,
Yes, please.
if children well-being is our independent variables, what variables measure that variable?
Come again.
What variables measure the children well-being?
So the children well-being,
In other words, what can determine children's well-being?
to solve the problem they have.
No,
I said, what variables can measure children well-being? Then I simplified it and I said, what determines children well-being?
It's determined to well-being of
You
children.
are not getting the question.
Okay.
You listen attentively. If children well-being is our independent variable, is a major variable.
Okay.
Yeah? But to understand that variable, we must have
measures.
measures which measure that variable. Or we must have variables which determines that variable.
Variables.
Yes. So what are those variables?
The variables.
Can culture be among them?
Misunderstanding.
Can culture determine the children well-being?
Well-being.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That's what we want. How
So-
does the culture determine what the children?
So between their parents, if they are different cultures, and the children will not enjoy one side because they will put one another to make their children to have their culture system. Yes.
That's
Yes.
so. Are you the one who constructed this concept of framework?
Yes, I'm the one.
Now, why is it you are failing to tell us that culture determines children well-being? Eh? Misunderstandings determines children well-being.
Yes.
Eh?
Religious
Religious differences determines well, because these are the factors which measures that major factors.
So
Then we go to dependent value. But what is our dependent value?
conflict,
So what is our dependent value?
dependent variables. It is
According to our topic.
according to our topic. It is broken families.
Good.
Yes.
So what factors measure that value?
Conflict. So if they fight each other, means they will break their marriages. Yes.
So that is okay.
Yes.
And what is our mediating value?
Mediating trust and also good communication, mutual respect. Yes.
But I don't understand the arrows. Can you explain those arrows, what they mean and what they are determining?
The arrows from one to the other.
Yes.
I tried to connect, then we get understand from one to another.
So you are not sure, that's why you are trying to connect.
Sorry?
You are not sure, that's why you are trying to connect.
No, I'm sure because this is my work.
But that is from what I'm saying is from grammar. I'm not sure.
Yes.
I'm not sure what's grammar.
Maybe it is.
Don't you think that we should have one arrow? Get a pen. Get a pen. One arrow from independent variable, and then it goes up to dependent variable. There is that relationship. Then another arrow should come from mediating variables, going straight to the middle of that variable, which is coming from independent to dependent. Are you getting me?
Come again. The last one.
It's like this. The first one is coming from this.
Yes,
Then
sir.
the last one is coming from here, this.
Okay.
The reason why there is a relationship between the independent variable
Yes.
and the mediating variables in determining dependent variable. Although without mediating variable, independent variable only can determine the dependent variable.
Yes.
So we need to have that. You need to list your work, and you have that relationship below here, and you also work on the arrows, and you put the correct arrows to also indicate the independent variables.
Thank you.
Now, briefly, can you tell us how you formulate your literature review?
Okay. Literature review.
You don't need to explain the literature review, but how did you formulate the literature review? In other words, your literature review is based on what?
My literature review is based on broken families and well-being. So,
What did you?
what? Come again?
How did you formulate your literature review?
Through agile searchers.
Yes, that one is correct.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But now, if I look at you, okay, you go to where your literature review is. That is page 27.
Yes.
Before we talk about the theories which guided you to have this literature.
The theory.
Yes.
Yes.
Then there is a way you organize your literature. Now we go to page 29, 2.1, literature review. It is literature review on what?
on objective one. Yes.
So how did you formulate your literature review? Is based on what?
Objective one. Yes.
Then the rest.
In the research of
No.
Sorry.
So we understand that there is literature on objective one.
Yes.
Then the rest of objective, the rest of the literature, sorry.
Objective one. Then also there is objective two, objective three, and objective four. Yes.
Now, which theories did you use to guide your work?
All of them.
No, which theory?
Theory, I used it on page 27, 2.1.
Which theory?
Furthermore study primary. Draw upon
No,
this.
which theory?
Yes.
Don't which theory? I'm asking you which theory.
I use the strategy of peace building. Yes.
How is it guiding your work? Because in your work, you have two variables. Eh? The children of the
Yes.
and the broken
Families.
families.
Yes.
And you said you are using peace building
Yes.
theory. According to my understanding, the peace building theory can very good guide us on broken families.
Yes.
So which theory did you use to determine the well-being of the children well-being?
For peace building,
For peace building, it's okay. It is the peace building theory determines guide
The broken
families.
yes.
Now, which theory is guiding
the well-being.
well-being, the children well-being?
It is under literature reviews.
How many theories do you have?
I have on this chapter I have one.
One.
Yes.
So, pastor, you need to get another theory
Yes.
to cater for children well-being.
Okay.
And you need to get a theory which will help you, which will guide you to understand the children
Being
well-being.
to become two of them.
Yes, we have. Then, should we move on?
Yes.
And you tell us the methodology you used and why you used that methodology. And under the methodology, I want you to tell us about the design. Listen properly.
Okay.
The design you used,
Yes.
the approach, yeah?
Okay.
The study design, the study approach, the study population, your area of study, how you determine the sample size in your work, the method you use to collect data, and how you analyze your work. Is the question clear or I repeat?
It's clear. So we go to chapter 3, and I start from there. So I should not start by introduction.
Mr. Slo,
Yes, please.
you are the one who conducted this.
Yes,
I was clear
it was clear.
that tell us your methodology.
Okay.
And I was specific and I said, tell us your design. I
Research
did not talk
design.
about the introduction. I said the research design, approach, study population, study area, method you use to collect data, and how you analyzed your work. Don't mention what I have not told you or what I have not asked you.
Okay. I get it.
Yes. You tell us the design and you say why you use that design.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm starting by mentioning that methodology. I'm on page 45. What are the possible causes of broken families in Rwanda division?
Mr.
No.
It seems you're not getting.
So research design
Yes.
on 3.2. This section discusses the qualitative research method that was deployed to negative information and analyze arguments from relevant tax holders. It also describes the field work boundaries of the research. Qualitative, the study used both qualitative and quantitative approaches. According to Amin 2005 cause study, make an interview.
Pastor, I'm sorry. It is not necessary to read the whole things.
Okay.
Okay, try to tell us about your designer, your design, your sample
My
size,
design, I
your
used
sample size.
both qualitative and quantitative.
Okay, what
Yes.
was your approach?
Then my approach, qualitative research deploys set of questions on the subject that
So
is
what
being
is
studied.
that you are reading?
It is approach.
Are you serious?
Yes,
So what is it you mentioned it again?
approach.
What is the approach there?
A qualitative research,
And what is your design?
no, it's not there. It's missing.
So, Mr. Zido,
Yes, please.
you resist that two sections. You write. You give him this. You give excuse me. Give him this. So we revised the section of research design and approach. Use Kurzweil 2023.
Sorry.
Use Kurzweil 2023, 2022. You can download it to help you to understand the difference between research design and research approach. Yeah?
2020.
There is one for 2023 and this one for 2022. They both can help you. Now, can you tell us about your study population and how you determine your sample size?
Research population, yes. Research population is 102. A sample and a sampling procedure
Don't
techniques.
tell us that my sample size was 102.
Yes.
Then the sample size was this, and it was determined by this method.
So sample size was
Sample population first.
okay.
What was the sample population?
102
102.
Yes.
And the sample size?
was 92.
How did you come to 92?
Some of people
What
responded.
method did you use to come up to 92?
There is sample size I did not access to come back from the respondents. So that's why out of 102, I have gotten 92.
There was not attentive.
Okay.
What did you come to 92?
Beneficiaries, the samples, the population was 102. Then out of 102, respondents who I gave that sample size, they didn't bring it back. Sorry.
You increased the population. If your population is 102, you use Morgan table 1970. You write it. Whatever I'm telling you, you just go to the age of things. Morgan table. There is another name. His first name starts with K. I can't pronounce that. It will tell you how sample size is determined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Through
Morgan 1970. So tell us briefly about how you analyzed your work and then the four findings according to your objectives. Because we're telling you you're trying to answer.
okay. So according to my analysis,
How you analyzed your work.
How did you analyze the work?
For example, Pastor,
yes,
you use the mixed method
yes,
as you were decided.
yes,
Now you have qualitative and quantitative work.
yes.
Maybe you can say for qualitative work, I analyzed my work using SPSS. I entered the data after collecting my data from the field, from my respondents. I entered that data. I split the data. I entered the data into the system, SPSS, models. I ran the frequency tables, the correlation, the regulations. Then after that, I started analyzing the tables. Then you also tell us on the qualitative, how you analyze the quantitative data. Which I don't think that you have it. They are tables, but you don't know how you come up with these tables. So you visit your methodology section of analysis. Then you read about how quantitative is analyzed using SPSS. And then that is quantitative. Then qualitative, but we're not noting them. Then qualitative, you can use in vivo or Atalastic to analyze the qualitative data part of your work.
But here you say, go to 52. Page 52. 3.81.
Quantitative data analysis.
You said you use the what?
Qualitative data analysis was used using frequency, percentage, correlation and regression.
Regression analysis using SPSS software.
But again, on that same page 52, look at 3.8.1, which is the quantitative data. Read that first sentence.
Qualitative data analysis was.
You read it the way it is.
I read the 3.81
No, the
Yes,
first
you
line.
know.
qualitative data analysis. Yes.
You read.
Qualitative data analysis
You read that sentence. Qualitative data analysis
was using frequency.
What is that?
Don't you think that is a grammatical error in that sentence?
It is, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I can see.
Because
I marked
I
it.
don't know whether in your university you load these dissertations. Because if you load these dissertations, then it becomes a public document. And somebody who will read this book and find that kind of grammatical errors.
Yeah, it is mistake here. I can see.
So grammatically, review your work.
Yeah.
Because at least in academy we tell students to give their the students there to take their work to editors before they submit, so that editors can then
Correct the mistakes.
yes.
Yeah, this is.
Because immediately they know this work that becomes a problem. And remember it is carried your name.
And the university.
Yes.
So let us note that
Yeah,
that you will also work on those grammatical errors. My last question to you, what is our take home out of your work?
They have not given us the what? Is what? Is findings.
Of what?
No, for me, that is my last question. What is our take home?
Take home.
What am I going to go through out of your work?
This work will make you happy.
Academically, yes, it is already making me happy. But
It
academically,
will make you happy because it
academically,
is a work which will finding solution for well-being.
for breaking the families,
Sorry,
for breaking the families.
broken families.
Okay.
So you will get solution how you can handle them through this book.
Okay, now come to me.
Okay.
Thank you. I want you to briefly tell me what were findings on this research vis-a-vis your topic. What is your major findings? Or what did you find out?
According to your question, Doctor, I find that there is other researchers made the same mind, and some of them they did not get solution.
How did you analyze your work? Maybe it's not from there.
Because you are not, the reason why I'm asking you that question, you are not answering this question.
Okay.
You are just answering different things. If you have not understood.
Did you analyze this work yourself?
Sorry?
Did you analyze this work yourself? Are you the one who analyzed this work?
Yes.
Now, If you analyze this work,
what we are defining.
that's where the findings.
The solution.
You understand the findings? What did you find exactly? You went to the field to do the research
Yes.
and you analyzed the research. So what did you find?
The discussion of those people, I discussed with them.
And when you discussed, what did you prove?
Mr. Zibo,
Yes, please.
go to page 55.
I'm there.
What is that? What is on page 55?
It is the data
How
presentation.
did you come up with that data?
I should use source.
How did you listen to the question? How did you come up with that?
I have gone to the community and also to the churches to ask the pastors, evangelists.
Yes, we understand you went to the field.
Yes.
You had participants as respondents. You had your interview guide and the survey questionnaire. You asked questions.
Yes.
They answered those questions.
Yes.
So doctor's question was, what was there? What did you get from those people? What were their findings? Your findings from them. What did you find out?
So according to what I find from the field, people were agreed with me that broken families is there, and also the well-being of children is there.
Mr. Zidro,
Yes, yes.
I agree with you. But let me hope that what you are telling us are not speculations,
Okay.
because you use quantitative, and I'm seeing the figures in your work. Can you be specific and tell us that 60 people, they agreed with me
Yes.
that they are broken marriages,
Marriages. Yes.
and then 20 people disagreed with me,
And you show why
you give us a specific empirical examples.
According to the table, the 4121 shows that
Which table? According to which table? Because there are very many
the
tables.
table 2, then 41, 6 of the respondents, N92. So
So that is the
The
table is about what?
is about to findings I found from
You released this section, and when you are talking about demographical characteristics of your respondents, put them in one table. Have the sex, age, education, work experience in one table.
You said you use ratio.
I have not used many tables. I use one.
For that demographical characteristics,
Demographic character, you can use the
they must
ratio.
have one.
Well, that's what you said.
Mm.
Then for other tables, for other questions, you can have independent tables, or graphs, or charts, histograms, or charts. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
But based on your objective. Because now after demographical characteristics, then we shall have our first theme. Under that first theme, we have asked questions. Yeah? So, which was your first question you asked? Then you go to your appendix, if you have it. Appendix. Your questionnaire is in which appendix? Appendix what? Go to page 83. 83. Huh?
Yes.
And yes, you did not number your questionnaire, but there is a question on what are the causes of broken families.
And
That the church,
and that's the main objective.
choose and tick and agree or disagree. So under that question, you will have a table. Yeah?
Yes.
Based on what are your findings. You can have a table, you can have a histogram, you can have a chart. Then you go to question 2. Can you suggest other causes? Then you can also have a pie chart on that, a table based on how you want to formulate your work. Then 3, you have what are the effects of broken families in the Rubaga division. You also have analysis on that table. All those ones we are still under one, all those questions they are under one objective. Then you will exhaust questions under the first objective. Then you will go to objective 2. You do the same thing. You exhaust all the questions under that objective. Then objective 3, objective 4. Then after that, we shall go to chapter 5, where we shall have the discussion of findings. Now we want you to present us, if you have. Then you tell us on which page is your discussion of findings. It is on which page? And what chapter is that?
Chapter 4.
Chapter 4, no. Chapter 4 is findings. That we should be chapter 5. Where you are.
Yeah.
You have it. It is on which page?
Discussion is on 77 page.
77.
Yes.
So you are going to tell us what you discussed in this. But before this, I want to take you back to chapter 4. Yes. Remember we have conceptual framework, which is talking about the relationship.
Yes.
Either negative relationship or positive relationship. And I know that we talked about relations and correlations. But I've not seen any table about correlation or regulation, which can show us the relationship. It's not there. So you revised your chapter 4, so that what is in chapter 4 corresponds well with what is in chapter 3. That in chapter 3, if you talk about regulations, they reflect in chapter 4. We are seeing the regulations, we are seeing correlations, which are determining the relationship, which we are talking about in your chapter 1, in your conceptual framework. Then we go to page 77, and then you tell us what is your discussion. What did you discuss?
Yes.
That is the
So no,
That is
that's the analysis.
yes.
That is up to page what?
Up to whole chapter,
Huh?
chapter 3.
You said you will go to page 53.
Yes.
That's where.
Yes.
Because my question was, show us where the qualitative work is and the quantitative. No, listen.
Okay.
You analyzed your work
Yes.
using mixed method, which means we have both qualitative and quantitative. That is in chapter 4. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So you go to chapter 4 on page 55. Are we there?
Yes, I'm there.
So you tell me that from page 54 to page 60, that is qualitative work. And then from 64 to 70, that is qualitative work. That is what I want. As simple as that.
Do you admit that you don't have them? Can you even revise them? Revise your chapter 4.
Yeah. Thank you.
Based on your design. Huh? You can make your design. The design will help you. Will guide you on chapter 4. Yes. To know where the two is. I will not tell you. Huh?
Yes.
I will not tell you whether both is there or it's only one which is there. You can lead your design.
Which is only one is there.
So for me, I'm exhausted.
Now, since you don't have both analysis as per your design, which means they bring long findings. Chapter 5. So we are saying you go and do the corrections and you get in touch with him and bring out your book for proper what? Other corrections. But from your discussions, to the assembly, you have passed with the major corrections. So go and make all those corrections within 3 weeks. Get in touch with the camera, submit your book when it is approved with those corrections. Okay. The next one. Let me see. Let me check on my list. 21. Is now we are going for masters. That is Lawrence. Is the Augustine is still taking our minutes? So Lawrence,
Mr. Lawrence,
yes.
those were undergraduate students, were master students. To their level, they are just defining variables. But to you now, you master these variables.
Yes.
Now, you are welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody.
After it.
My name is Pastor Laiken Kileons. I'm conducting a research study.
Don't send questions to us. You have just to the question. My first question to you, what motivated you to undertake this study? What motivated you to undertake this study?
Yeah,
What you need to know which study?
yeah. I need to know I did my dissertation, my research about conflict in the Rwanda division among Congolese community. The problems, some misunderstanding. I need to know why and how to overcome those issues.
Cool.
Yeah, I needed to know how to overcome those issues among that community. Yeah, I proceed by there was some objectives.
In three sentences,
Yeah,
you understand what a sentence is. Can you tell me what motivated you to do this work?
what motivated me to do this work?
In the three lines.
Yeah, is to about to know the reason why there are issues among Congolese community in the Rwanda division. Yeah.
And what is your topic?
My topic is the role of church leaders in conflict resolution and management, a case of Congolese community in the Rwanda division.
Now you relate. Is there a relationship between what motivated you to do that work and your topic? Is there a relationship?
Yes.
Which relationship is that?
Uh,
Because here you are talking about the role of church leaders
yeah.
in conflict resolution.
Yeah.
The role of church leaders
Yes.
in conflict resolution
Yeah.
and the management.
Yes.
A case of Congolese community in Rwanda division. And what
There is a connection because we have to manage.
Again, what motivated you?
What motivated me, conflicts are there. We have to manage and to overcome those conflicts.
Because if I look at your topic, the major issue is to find out the role of church leaders
Yes.
in conflict resolution.
Yes.
You understand what a resolution is?
Yes.
In simple terms, what are you looking for?
Sorry?
What are you looking for?
We are looking for
What
some
are you studying?
solutions.
What are you studying?
Solutions. Mm.
So what motivated you to do this work?
It's just to overcome those problems because they are there. Yeah.
Okay, if it is to overcome
Yeah.
the solutions to the problems
Yes.
eh?
Yeah.
Among the Congolese communities in the Rwanda division,
Yeah.
can you please briefly listen to me attentively?
Yes.
Briefly, tell me about the background of your study, the statement of the problem, objectives, research questions. Don't mention what I've not asked you. Research questions, the scope of the study, eh? The theory, if you have it, or the conceptual framework, whatever you have. Then you tell us how you formulated your literature review, the methodology you used in collecting your data, and the 4 major findings. But that should be in 10 minutes, because I'm telling you, it is now 22 past the 3.
Yeah, according to background of the study, I looked how problem arise among those community, that community. How problem arise, how we can manage it, and how we can make solutions. But as a leader, church leader. So, this we analyzed there was independent variables, and mediating variables. Independent variable, they are about culture, about misunderstanding and religious differences. Then mediating variables, you have to call them in meeting, they discuss or they negotiate. And concerning the dependent variable, it's about conflict management and the resolution or peace cohabitation. If they are talked, they are together, they can overcome those conflicts will be over. They will live in peace.
Now, what you are considering to be a statement of the problem?
Sorry?
What you are considering for your study? Do you think that that problem is worth investigating?
Come again?
Do you think is the problem you are talking about worth investigating?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
You think it is worth it? You convince us. Because according to me, I don't know why you are studying this. What relevance?
In other words, what motivated you?
No.
Repeat the question, maybe I might have.
Why is the problem we are talking about? Or is the problem we are talking about worth investigating?
Yes.
Then tell him why it is worth investigating.
Why?
Why it is worth investigating.
Because if those problems, once they are not resolved, they can bring horror, division, and they sometimes can bring some challenges for the church. Sometimes the Christian will leave the church and they will also be weak spiritually because of such misunderstanding of religious differences.
In your understanding,
Yes.
what would happen if this problem remains unaddressed?
Once those problems are not resolved, the church will be dissolved. No, the Christian will not believe to the leader, and will go away. Yeah. So concerning literature review, I used the theory of Mr. Rederach, which emphasizes the unique position of religious leaders in peace building. Yeah. I also used the theory of peace building, which emphasizes the proactive and transformative potential of leaders and the organization.
Why does the theories, not organization?
Those theories
Are you
certainly.
getting my question?
Sorry.
Why those two theories, not organizational theory?
It helped me to analyze the way to come over those issues, the problem. They served me as model.
You are getting our minutes. Right? Are you getting our minutes?
So, chapter 3, I used research methodology, and research design, also concept study area. This study was focused on Rubaga division. It is a significant administrative area within Kampala City. Yeah. There is also a used geographical context of Rubaga division. That Rubaga division is situated in the western part of Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. It's one of the administrative divisions in that area.
Representing a geographical scope or a methodology?
Sorry?
Are you representing the methodology or geographical
It's
scope?
a geographical context of Uganda.
Are you presenting methodology or geographical scope?
Methodology.
But what you are mentioning is the geographical scope.
Yeah.
Can you now tell us the methodology? Specifically, tell us what design did you use? The approach.
I use the qualitative methodology. Yeah.
Design.
Design.
The approach.
The approach was sampling procedures. Sample size and selection.
So what are the issues there as well? We don't have.
Sorry?
You have the approach and the right hand.
I also use data collection instrument.
You don't have approach. How did you apply?
I approached people by
Which method did you use it to study?
interview. I used interview and questionnaires.
fence.
Yes.
You are going to revisit your
Yes.
you correct it. You correct you put the correct design,
Yeah.
is justification, correct such approach. You are not noting them.
Come again.
Revisit your methodology, a section of such design, then a section of such approach. You rewrite those two sections. The same books will help you this will help you.
Sorry.
Chris will help you.
Please.
2022,
2022.
Now tell us the population, because the area of study you have already mentioned it. So tell us what was your population?
My population was 30 person. Was 30 person. Among those, there was
30. Your population was only the 30. How many Congolese are in Rwanda? Only 30.
sorry.
There are only 30 Congolese in Rwanda division.
No. Ruaga division has about 300 something population.
If you serving 300 population, so what was your sample size? And how did you determine that sample size?
The interview guys is questionnaire.
I don't want to do this work. Because whatever we are asking you, it is in your.
Sorry?
Whatever we are asking you, you have it in your, but you can't express it.
Page 26. 26.
26, 27. You have a total sample of 125.
Sample size and selection, only page 26.
Yeah.
27. Mr.
Lawrence.
Lawrence,
Yes.
do you mind if we give you time to read your work? Because even whatever I'm telling you to do, you have it.
Everything we are
So you need to go
You
back
did
and master your work. Between today and
Thursday.
no, Wednesday. Because the Thursday I will be back here to present your work. Huh? Give your work time. You read it, understand it. Then on Thursday, you present it. Yeah?
Yes.
Because otherwise, if we force you to present what you are not understanding, you are not failing. Huh? Which we don't want. You go back and read. Because
Read
you
this
have-
work, understand it.
Whatever they are asking you, process, you have it. Even whatever I'm telling you to do, you have it. Yeah? You go back and read your work, then you come back on Thursday and present.
So, can we have this is a procedure? This is not any. A must.
Something.
Yes, please.
Very good afternoon to you.
Good.
How are you? Very fine.
In a sentence,
Yes.
in a sentence, in one sentence, one like this, tell me what you are studying.
I am studying the internal conflict crisis in born again
Really?
churches in Uganda.
Why? Why are you studying?
Because in many churches, conflict which degenerate in crisis are observed everywhere in Uganda, especially here in the world.
Come again.
I am studying this topic because in many churches of born again,
Do you think that even if you don't study this, you can solve the internal conflict of born again churches?
I think no, because when I decided to start it, I have reviewed other literature of scholars.
What will it contribute to solve the internal conflicts in the church? What will your study contribute in solving this crisis in born again churches in Uganda?
Yeah, it will give the solution for the Pentecostal church in Zambia, which was the case of study, and not only the Pentecostal church in Zambia, but other churches also which have the same problem.
You think the problems which Pentecostal church in Masana are facing are the same problems the Pentecostal churches in Portugal are facing?
Not necessarily, but in many churches, the same crisis is
Why
there.
are you telling us that these your recommendations or your findings will be generalized to represent all of Uganda?
Before I start this study, I have observed in many Pentecostal churches, born again, the problems, the conflict which they generate in crisis. Now, because the problem was not observed in one church only,
What do you want to consider to be the internal conflict?
pardon?
What do you consider to be the internal conflict or crisis in those born again churches?
Yeah, in many churches, the problem which they have, it comes not from the external, it is internal.
Now I'm talking about the internal conflict.
But
I'm talking about the internal conflict.
yes,
And my question was, what do you consider to be the internal conflict? Yeah? Or the internal conflict crisis in born again church?
yeah, I call the internal conflict the problem which is between inside the church, between leaders or leaders in congregants. When it is internal and it doesn't go outside, or when it doesn't come from outside, I call it internal.
That's your answer to your questions.
Why do you call it internal conflict?
No, I wanted you to give me what are those internal conflict crises in born again churches?
maybe illustrating.
So I want to understand the prices. What prices are you talking about?
Can you give an example?
Before you start telling us about it, we need to understand. Because here you are talking about internal conflict prices in born again churches in Uganda. What are those prices?
Those prices. With born again churches, we observed the speed growth. But with that speed growth, after some years, we observe also people leaving the church, going away. We saw leaders fighting each other. And that problem grow every day. The conflict between
And be specific and
What are the ones we want? What are those conflicts?
Like for example,
Okay.
if I'm to understand what
There is a problem.
Listen. Yeah, I'm giving you an example.
Yes.
Yeah? If we go to Makelele Church in Pastor Kuligo's church,
Yes.
I think what you are calling the internal conflict in that church is about Monday of prayer.
Yes.
Now, if we want to go to this church,
Okay, the post
how would we go to this church?
It is called the Holy City of Rest.
So, what are the internal conflicts in this church? Are they the same like the one of Pastor Ojeda?
Now,
And now my question is, your case study is Pentecostal Church in Masana.
yes.
Eh?
Yes.
And you are saying you are studying those crises of born again churches in Uganda.
Yes.
Eh? And you want to use Masana as your case study.
Yes.
So my question is, you think the findings you get in Masana will represent well the whole of Uganda?
Masala is taken as a case of study. It is taken as a case of study. But because problems in other churches are similar with the problem in Masala, I think what we get as a solution and recommendation can help other churches. Which
Mr. Peter, I think on your topic we are going to remove that case study. You are going to remove the case study. You studied the conflict crisis in born again churches in Uganda.
I think you cannot
It will be okay. Then you put in a case study of Pentecostal church in Masana. Yeah? Because to my understanding, these born again churches, they have different internal crises. Like the example I have given you, that if you go to Makelele Church in the church, then their internal conflict is about the money they contributed which is different from the crisis here.
Now, if you listen very closely, I try to explain you. It is not one problem only.
Yes, I was just giving you
There are
an
many
example.
problems which
Remember, I asked you those problems and you were failing to mention.
What we wanted you to ask to identify said crisis, internal crisis.
You mentioned.
We wanted the common internal crisis we came up with.
the common crisis, I told you, the conflict of power, of the greed of power. there is also a problem of mismanagement of money. Yeah, money charge. There is also
Okay, let us consider what you have mentioned is enough.
yes.
Do you think, in your understanding, that those internal crises cut across all churches in Uganda?
No, it's not for all churches, but many.
That's why he's asking you to change the case.
To remove the case study.
Okay.
Because the Masanaf cannot represent all the
All the
Pentecostal churches. Because
Their
I understand.
internal crisis is not cross-cutting in all churches.
I understand.
Now, due to the fact that we have now understood your well, can you please tell us about what you were studying in terms of background, statement of the problem, objectives, research questions, scope of the study, the theoretical framework, methodology, and findings? And tell me this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
What will you displace by phone?
Yeah, thank you so much. Starting by the background, we, as I told you, we observed the persistence of internal conflict within the religious institution, especially the Pentecostal church in Africa. Many born-again churches in Uganda, formerly under charismatic leadership, often without strong administrative and accountability structures. As congregations expanded and resolved the issue related to governance, power distribution, and resource management, the Pentecostal Church in Masana is presented as a representative case, reflecting both the validity and the vulnerability of born-again churches in urban Uganda. Now, as a settlement of the problem, the clear problem, despite the internal role of center of unity, moral guidance, and spiritual growth, many born-again churches in Uganda experience persistent internal conflict that develop into crisis. At Pentecostal Church Masanafo, this conflict manifested through leadership disputes, allegation of financial mismanagement, weakened spiritual growth, membership attrition, and damage to church public image. The lack of empirical study of such crises in specific church context treats as significant research gap. Go ahead. Now, as objective of my research, I identified the causes of internal conflict in his church. I assess the effect of internal conflict crisis in the church in Sanafo to examine the challenges faced by church leaders when handling internal conflict and crisis in the church. Pentecost Sanafo, to propose also a strategy for preventing and managing the internal conflicts, the crisis in the church. Now, as the scope of study, I have the geographical scope, content scope, and the temporary scope. Masanafo is situated in the Rubaga division, Kampala district. In the Masanafit is the village which is in the Masanafit Nonya LC1. About the content, I studied only the internal conflict crisis, not the external. According to the scope time, my study covered the period of 2020 up to 2024. Now, why? Because it was a period which was characterized by many problems, such as the divisions in the churches, such as reduction of
Which specific
division. Yeah, we observed one church which is broken.
which church is that?
The case of study, Pentecostal Son Church. It was broken 3 times, and the fraction brought to start other church away. Now, it was in that period, and the period before, but I prefer this period because it was a remarkable reduction in the
Which period is that?
2020 up to 2020. Yeah.
But Mr.
Yes.
Does you think that those are saturations? Because they don't have evidence.
Evidence is there.
Which evidence?
I told you that the evidence which I have, the church was broken 3 times in that period.
How sure? Why do you want? You were just forcing your evidence.
No, it is not.
Listen, Mr.
Yes,
You were just forcing your evidence to me. How I not convince me that the church was broken? I was not there.
After hearing that and observing
Is it
the other
in the
churches,
newspaper?
no,
That was taken, that has a link to that.
my research was directed to the population, which some people were
That will be any speculations.
That's not speculation.
It
It was
was any speculations. Listen, you need to get evidences. You quote somebody, either newspaper, that according to this newspaper, there was conflict in this church in this period. That's why I'm studying this.
No.
But if you don't have that, then you may be speculations.
I don't call
And the
it
speculations, you shall not.
no, please, no, please. I don't call it speculation because
Before you are calling this speculation,
I-
it is
I-
people calling this speculation.
I met the people who was in that church.
I agree with you. But this research, this is a public document.
Yes.
So if I read that, how will I get convinced that what you are telling us it is true?
Maybe if
So am I wrong to call it a speculation? Because I was not there. You are telling me for you were there. There is no evidence, but you were there. It may be a story.
it is not a story because I told you that I met the people who was concerned in
To me, it remains a story because I was not there. You don't have evidence to show that you were there. If it was a newspaper and I read it and say, and you inform me to a newspaper that you now need new vision of 23rd.
accept to ask you
Now we visit that section and we get a sound justification.
So there are periods. The starting period and the end period.
Starting period,
Yes, you get, if your starting period is 2020, 2020, you get a salary justification. Why you are studying, why you want to study at your starting period, then the end period.
I could not take all the period, all years.
Now, your justification. You said the focus, and we are not.
It's not very clear. It's not very clear. You have to put there what you call justification. To prove that you are studying. Yeah. Well, we don't allow speculations in the study.
But you have it. He says, the study focused on the internal conflicts, crisis, as observed and experienced primarily over the last 4 years, from 2020 to 2024, within the Pentecostal Church in Masana. This period is chosen to capture recent and relevant conflict dynamics, including any significant past events like major power struggles that have had a lasting impact in the church. While historical context was considered, the primary data collection pertaining to events and perception within the specific time frame. This is it. There's something lacking. You needed to bring the event, the major event. And how did you get to know this major event? For example, if someone told you, let that person allow you to quote it. Or if you got it in the paper, quote the paper.
Like the way I'm going to, when I'm writing and studying, I'm doing this similar study. Related to this, I will quote your study, and I will say a study of the CUG Peter 2022. Immediately I mentioned that I have referred a person to an evidence, so that is not speculation.
Okay. I get it. I get
So
it.
you know it, you can have
Yeah.
Those are area of correction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I go ahead. I go to the conceptual framework. Yeah. The study is, I have used I have been guided by the peace building theory of Johann Gotthard. But also I have consulted the transformational leadership theory of
What is on page 10?
this
What is on page 10?
page 10. Page 10, there is a conceptual framework.
So are you presenting just a conceptual framework or a theoretical framework?
Yeah, I was going
What do
to
you
reach there. Okay. The conceptual framework, I have independent variables in the dependent variables from where I got mediating variables. In the independent variables, I got leadership style.
Maybe from us, what is the purpose of this concept of framework in your work?
Pardon?
What is the purpose of this concept of framework in your work?
The purpose is to know the causes of the conflict. Knowing also the impact by the dependent variables.
So maybe if I don't indicate it, I can't know the impact.
The,
If I don't indicate it, I will not be able to know the impact.
no, the independent variables we can get, but they help to get dependent variables. Because when we speak about the grid of power, people in leadership, the leaders are fighting for the power of the leadership. We get the disunity among leaders. Now, I was talking about leadership style, financial mismanagement in the independent variables, doctrinal differences, cultural or generational gaps in the grid for power. Dependent variables, we see that the unity of the church is affected, the spiritual growth is affected, the church reputation, and the organizational stability. Now, we got also the mediating variables for in order to solve the problem, we have to manage the effort in teaching.
Are you listening to yourself?
Yes,
Are you listening to yourself?
listening.
Listening to yourself.
No, I'm not talking to the talking.
But when you're talking to us, you're not listening to yourself.
No, it's
Huh?
I cannot speak.
So what are you telling us?
I'm telling you about variables.
Which variables?
Now I have started by independent variables.
So what is the independent variables?
In
What is the dependent variables?
independent variables,
How many are they? Because you are saying independent variables. How many are they?
I have talked about 5 variables.
You have 5 independent variables.
I have talked
And you go to your first, the couple of your what you are talking.
cover.
Really? So how many variables are there? In your topic? There are 4 variables, independent variables.
Internal conflict crisis.
What is your independent variable in that topic?
Independent variable.
What is your independent variable?
Independent or dependent?
Independent.
Independent variable. Those are variables which the cause
What is your dependent variable?
causes
What is your dependent variable?
dependent variables. It is
You go to page 10.
yes, I'm there.
What is the independent variable?
It's the outcome or impact of crisis.
But you have it there. What is the independent variable there?
Are you seeing independent variable?
Independent variable.
Are you seeing it?
Yes, I'm seeing it.
So what is it?
Independent variables, those are causes of conflict or crisis. These are the
Mr.
factors
Peter.
hypothesis.
Mr. Peter,
Yes.
I'm going also I'm sorry, but I'm also we're going to come back on first. Oh, we give you a chance.
I'm trying.
We give you a chance. Eh? We give you a second chance. We're going to page 10.
I'm there.
You are there on the conceptual framework.
Yes.
Are you seeing where independent variable is? Are you seeing that?
Yes.
It is your work.
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Yes. So what is the independent variable in that conceptual framework?
I have leadership styles.
Those are not very
No, now, Mr. Peter,
Yes.
in your conceptual framework, you have only one independent variable, which is the causes of conflict.
Right.
Are we together now?
Yes, I'm with you.
Huh?
Yes.
You have only one.
One independent variable.
One independent variable. Now, these other variables you have indicated, they just help you to understand that
Okay.
individual value.
Okay.
And what are those ones? What are those ones?
The
What are those variables helping you to understand the causes of conflict?
yeah, those are leadership style, financial mismanagement, doctrinal differences, cultural, generational gaps, and the critical power.
Because if we say causes of conflict crisis, so you need to correct it. In this that you help him to revisit. We are going to revisit your conceptual framework with your supervisor to help you understand each other. And then you also help you to correct the errors so that you can get to understand the relationship between the independent and the mediating variables. So
This is concept of
can we move to page 14? Tell us about your literature. How did you come up with that literature?
Yeah. Literature. Yeah. In my study, I have examined
Mr. Peter, and also yourself. And listen attentively to us. How did you come up with that literature review? Am I clear? How did you come up with that literature review? You have literature review.
Yes, I have.
But how did you come up with that literature review?
I have read works of other scholars in order to know what they have written.
Teach other scholars, because there are very many scholars, even scholars who have written about mathematics.
Know about literature.
Literature what?
I have, for example, look about P.F. Kennedy.
P.F. Kennedy has studied what?
They have studied about foundational insight.
What?
In order to deter how issue like power struggle, financial mismanagement, and dispute over church property and abuse.
So in his writings, what is writing, what is his argument? What is arguing is related to your work or what is arguing about in his writings? Is it in connection with your work?
It is in connection because he talked about the financial management, which is one of the problem which we have in actual churches. And then we talked about a dispute over church property. Now, I was talking to
Mr. Peter,
yes.
now from your theoretical framework, in your literature review, try to cite current literature. At least 21 to 26. 21 to 26. Because even today, publication of this work, according to all the scholars. And also, as you are debating with other scholars in your literature, you try to also bring in the theory list.
Yes.
The debate is between you and the other scholars.
Okay.
You are debating on the same issue, but try also to bring in the skill to guide you, yes, in your debate.
The last book, nice comments I gave you. Did you address them?
Yeah.
Now you see almost the same words appearing. Because what is telling you, I have given it to you and my comment. The last book I marked. And I send you back to make a correction with that book. But I see the same, because you produced the old book. I expected this comment to have been addressed.
Can you talk about your methodology?
I have used the research design, I have used the qualitative research approach. Concerning the target population, the sample size, I have approached leaders and congregant active. I have approached 7 leaders, church leaders, and 45 congregants who are supposedly who are active and supposed to know what is happening and what happened before. Uh, for leaders, I have chosen leaders who was active during the period of crisis, because they have lived in that crisis and tried to get solution or to manage the conflict, and they have got challenges in that process, and consulting them helped me to know what kind of challenge they meet.
You say 40.
40. I told the 45 provided in the 7.
Do you understand? All those 45, they were giving you different requirements. Their responses were not the same. According to our interview guide.
But they are not the same, but they cannot be the
Qualitative study. In qualitative study.
they are not the same way of response, but the majority was going in the same way. For example,
to understand that
for example,
the same issue.
for example,
Because if you tell me 45, if it was the whole country, but just a case study of Masana,
no, it is not
no,
in the
system,
yeah.
because even according to Chris Well, he said in qualitative, yeah, you can have 10, say 10 to 30 from all well. It is 10 to 30 interviews. Yeah? 10 to 30 or 1 to 10. And need to list but it's between that. But if it was a whole country, but Masala, I think we need to list that. We need to list that. Because you can find that the findings you have severe findings. If we are now to go to, you have an interview guide here. In your appendix. Yes. It's from which page? So we have the appendix, the interview guide is the pharmaceutical discussion.
Interview guide,
Page 100. This is now another problem. So go to page 103. Are you there?
I'm there.
So what is on page 103? So it's an interview guide or
Administrative questionnaires.
and what was your design? What was your design? Go to methodology. Go to methodology in your book. Go to methodology.
on the page, sorry,
It's your
So, Mr. Peter, yes, we can't talk about our design, but our design is going to be purely qualitative.
no, maybe.
What I'm saying
Yes,
is,
you can go ahead, but
if your design is purely qualitative, you can't have a survey questionnaire.
it is also quantitative. In,
like
What
you
is
said,
in your one?
requires
I have said qualitative, but I've used also quantitative.
Is that in your one?
it is not in
It
your
is in our
You read
You
the-
tell us.
3.1.
It is in which page, which section?
Three point one. If you are designer to see. Have you seen your design? Read it for us. After introduction, we are to
Page 22. Page 22, the first section. 1.1. It is 3.1.
when you are going to the page that. You read it for us.
starting by research design. Is not adopt a qualitative research approach. Specifically, it is utilizing a case study design. This way of doing research was very important because the study aimed to understand deeply and specifically the context, complex social problems within a real life setting. The case study design allowed for a thorough and detailed
into that
into
internal conflict crisis.
identical challenge in myself. It just was fitting because it helped to explore the fundamental different view and the special historical event like past power struggle that study based on Nama might mean miss.
So now what is your study say?
It is qualitative.
Now, where did you use this other state when you were using it?
So it's a protected person. You're not supposed to have a simple question here. You're supposed to have interview. Yeah? You will change these questions into interview. Yes. And the maximum of 10 questions. And those questions should be based on your objectives.
Can come again.
Instead of survey questionnaire, which you have, you should have interview guide. Interview guide with 10 questions. You can have four questions or three questions on each objective. which can be similar to if you go to page 107, which can be similar to focus group discussion. But even you have the interview guide on page 111. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
So you don't need to design another interview guide. Just remove this questionnaire and then you need the interview guide.
And the complete only.
But the questions are just remove this questionnaire.
Okay.
And then you need the interview guide.
I did the interview.
You move from pages 103 to 106. You move that. The rest of the
So, in other words, the investigations will be focusing on this focus group discussion. And in focusing on the group discussions, you must come again to your objectives. You identify the underlying causes of internal conflicts, which are experienced within the Pentecostal churches in the South. Then you also use this focus group discussion to assess the effect of internal conflict crisis on the Pentecostal churches in Montana. Then you examine the challenges faced by church leaders when handling internal conflicts and crises within the Pentecostal church in Montana. Then lastly, you have to propose strategies for preventing and managing the internal conflicts crisis within the Pentecostal churches in Montana. I went ahead even to suggest to you the areas where mostly you are going to study. You are going to look at the leadership style. You are going to look at the financial management. You are going to look at the doctrine differences. You are going to look at the culture and those generation gaps. Greater for power. Those are so many areas, that touching the areas. You have to bring out your what? Your followers. This is what is supposed to be. These are in this questionnaire. What the areas is supposed to be. Yes. Those are the areas that they are questions or the sample sections. That's what I'm telling you. And deciding this
I am with you, but it's really-
have we not told interview guy? Have we not told him that?
No, it's not you doing, it's not you doing.
But those are the areas. What about you guys?
In addition to the question was to
And this
add what is telling you that it is going to guide you in that interview.
Yes.
Don't put it now. elsewhere. It is said to be the interview guide. Now you revisit your interview guide on page 111 and look at what he has been told.
So once those areas are captured, then you will bring good analysis and the findings will be clear. Otherwise, you are still lacking your findings. No, it is your what? I'm giving you the guide that will be on your interview guide, the focus group discussion. And when those areas come out clear, everything will be okay.
Now, with that, Mr. Peter, what were your findings? Your findings.
My findings on the cause of internal conflict causes. Findings are leadership struggle and the competition for authority, financial management conflict, cultural diversity, poor communication and limited consultation. Concerning the effect of the entire conflict, my findings are the church public image was affected. The internal conflict contributed to member attrition. Conflict also weakened the church mission and outreach